Peace, y'all. This is Ashe. Welcome to Ashe Underground. I'm gonna have to talk low because it's literally like just turned into Friday, which is the day of Venus. So we have a lot to cover in this video. I'm gonna try and get through it, and we're gonna get to the court cards. We're gonna get through all the astrological signs in Venus. We're gonna talk about improving karma with Venus. If you want to just look at improving karma with your Venus, you can check out this other video I did like a year ago where it just talks about Venus karma improvement. Okay, which is gonna be totally different. Not totally different, but it's gonna touch on different points than this video. Okay, so maybe I should show my notes in this one. I'm not sure, but okay. So Venus, I think Shakuria. I'm saying that wrong for sure. But let's get into it, okay? So Venus is a really misunderstood planet. She's a very misunderstood energy because the thing about Venus is that she not only represents romantic love, beauty, art, money, material, and pleasures, and women, but she also has the guru vibration, I'm probably gonna say this wrong, Vedanta philosophy, okay? And she is the ending of knowledge. She's the final wisdom of knowledge. And why? Why does she have this guru vibration? Why is she the ending of knowledge and the final wisdom of knowledge? It is because she is beyond duality, okay? And she is the great guru of duality. So we're going to get more into that, right? So the force of the universe. Now I'm kind of getting into like Star Wars a little bit, but there is this force of the universe, the light, the dark, yin, yang. This force is in a lot of different spiritualities. And people even talk about how the creator of Star Wars pulled these different spiritualities to help describe the force within the series, right? So Venus has a complete knowledge of this duality, right? I'm wondering if I should get into the Vedic names, but I'm just going to keep going here. So much wisdom of duality that she actually goes beyond it. And she's so beyond it that she no longer experiences duality, okay? Which is a form of an enlightenment, a form of moksha. Moksha has to deal with death, okay? I will do a whole video on moksha. Supposedly because in Vedic astrology, right? Supposedly because my Mercury is in Pisces, and I didn't get into this in the Mercury video, but if your Mercury is in Pisces and it's in the 4th house, I believe the 4th house, 9th house, maybe the 11th house, and I'll talk more about it and I'll get the correct houses for sure when we go into the Moksha video. Part of your assignment is to explain moksha. So this series, everything that I'm doing now is actually like part of my assignment, part of my communicative assignment, okay? Because this all goes into moksha at the end of the day, your karmas, balancing out your life, improving those karmas, walking in your purpose, etc. And karma is not what we think it is. I might have to do a general video on karma, depending on the audience, right? Okay, but back to Venus. So, yeah, this is a form of enlightenment, being able to go beyond duality, okay? And the ultimate yearning an ultimate yearning for it, right? So good versus evil, passive aggressiveness, right? Venus is part of all of it. So it's not just wealth, it's also poverty. It's not just marriage, it's also divorce, right? And that's what people they don't think about Venus in this way, but yeah, she rules that too. So just as she'll bring people together or soulmates together, she will also make soulmates grow apart. She will also make, certain breakups happen and things like that, right? Because it's the expression of both dualities. And just as there's this refinement and sensual nature about her, the shadow side is people overindulging, which is messing up the balance and the harmony. And I think about Mace Windu in Star Wars, right? How he had control of the light and the dark forces. And a lot of people couldn't handle that type of balance. But you see how his lightsaber is purple, and purple is the color that represents Venus. So he basically had the knowledge of Venus. He was a guru of Venus, if you really think about it, Mace Windu. So for any Star Wars fans out there, yeah, this is gonna be very interesting, guys. And the research even went into demons here. So not demons in the Christian sense, but in the Hinduism sense. I'm probably saying this wrong, but Asurus or Asuras, right? So we're gonna think of demons in the sense of they have a desire to live eternally. They seek full knowledge of all dualities the universe has to offer, and their karmas is to experience all of it, right? So the thing about Venus is that the demons go to Venus to seek liberation from duality, right? Because they are seeking their senses. So there are gurus, there are yogis that could be considered demons, but it's not a negative thing. It's not a malicious thing. It's kind of like I talked about that in a tarot video about divas, how demons and diva represents this. There's this synastry with those two words because it's the pleasures of life. They are people who want to really involve themselves with all the pleasures. Okay, so it's just and in Christianity, right, you're not supposed to indulge in all the pleasures. So it's just a different way of thinking of things. So let's get into it. Okay, an exalted Venus is someone with an exalted Venus. So if your Venus is in Taurus or Libra or something like that, then you will have these energies available to you potentially through your lifespan. Spiritual growth potential of refinement, sophistication, class, philosophy, and spirituality. Okay, you will see beauty in all that life has to offer. Okay, and you will see life in a balanced and harmonious way, right? So the Empress, what does it mean to be refined and, sorry guys, it's so late, refined and sophisticated, okay? So one of the really good examples that this teacher uses in the video that I'll provide below, he goes into great detail about all this energy, is not just quality over quantity, but one of the ways that we can improve our Venus karma, which I'll get to at the very end of the video, but I'm going to use for this example for refinement and class and sophistication, is buying a bottle of expensive wine, some of the best wine you can get, and only having 1 to 2 glasses on a Friday, which is the day of Venus, right? If you have 3 glasses, 4 glasses, 5, now it's not refined, right? It's not sophisticated. Now we're going into overindulgence. You see? So the point of Venus, someone that's exalted in their Venus sign or has mastered this energy of Venus, just like Mace Windu in Star Wars here, is somebody that can, they could let's not use smoking. They could have a glass of wine and they'll just stick to 1 glass of wine, and they will enjoy and maybe probably take that glass of wine and slowly, but they will enjoy it in a very refined way. Maybe they will enjoy it in an outing at a nice restaurant, and that's it. They don't go home and have 5 other glasses of wine after that, right? I could go to a boulangerie, right? That's a bakery in France. I go to the boulangerie, and I've done this, and I see a dessert or a baked good that I've never tried before, and I buy that baked good and I sit down with it and I try it and I taste all the different hints of and notes of it, and I enjoy the pleasure of that baked good. But I don't go and buy 10 of those. You know what I'm saying? This is the difference between going to a boulangerie maybe and trying something you've never tried before or something that you really enjoy, and maybe going to Krispy Kreme and getting 24 donuts and eating them by yourself in the car. You understand? Not refined, not sophisticated, not what we're going for in Venus, but Venus rules that too, right? And somebody with I'm not, okay, I'll say deficiency for lack of a better word right now, but that's not the correct word. Someone with a deficiency in Venus, or someone whose Venus is not balanced, that's what they're doing there. And it happens to all of us. It's okay. They're overindulging in the pleasures of life, right? So we'll get into that and how that shows up in all the different zodiac signs. But yes, the Empress is the epitome of Venus. There isn't a zodiac sign that rules the Empress. She simply is Venus, and the duality of it. I think Mace Windu, you know what I'm saying? Even though he is a him in Star Wars, for me that's I don't know, that's just the character that I put with someone who can really control themselves, right? You have control, you have dignity, you have style, grace, class, and yeah, proper boundaries set up, right? It's just we love it. We love it here, okay? Yes. So let's get into how this would look in the other cards. The Hierophant is Venus in Taurus, and the Justice card is Venus in Libra. So, Venus in Libra, right? This is the epitome of justice, harmony, balance in your relationships, okay? Family dynamics. There's an emphasis of harmony and balance, okay? And it's on an intense level. So they enjoy beauty of life in all that it is. We talked about that. Okay, and there's a mixed effects in the 7th house. When Venus is in Libra in the 7th house, you need to look with an astrologer on that. Then we have that is auspicious in the 4th, 9th, and 12th house, okay? Now Venus in Taurus, right? Majority of this is also auspicious. There's an emphasis on financial, material, and lifetime experimental and accumulations of potential. I believe with the financial and material as well. So the 2nd, 4th, 10th, and 11th house is very auspicious for Taurus. Now you can reap karmic rewards throughout your lifetime when you just have this Venusian nature. What does that mean? So and this is tropical astrology. I'm not using Vedic astrology. So who knows? I mean, who knows how much out of alignment with the Vedic astrology I might be in when I say this. But in tropical astrology, my Venus is in Taurus, right? So a karmic reward is when I was able to go on this show. And Bobby Brown, if you don't know, Bobby Brown is like a famous Jewish makeup artist, right? I had her book when I was a little girl, and she highlighted all different cultures throughout her book and how to do simple makeup, but she had an emphasis on sun protection, hydration, and how it's not really about makeup, but it's about health. Her ideas on makeup are very refined and very classy. You know, it has that harmony and that balance that we're looking for in Venus, right? And her book is all about that, how less is more, and your health is way more important than any amount of makeup that you'll put on, right? So now here I am, 29 going on 30, and I get invited to this Bobby Brown event, right? I have 3 kids. I'm burnt out. I'm tired because I'm their daycare, right? No one else is watching the kids but myself and my husband. And I sign up for this video production, and I go. It's all women, free makeup, free, you know what I'm saying? It was a gift from Venus. It was a karmic reward from Venus. And I got to enjoy products that you know, it was like a full circle moment for me. And you will see that. I talk more about that in the Venus video, the karmic video down below, where I talk about more about improvement with karma and Venus. And you'll see those Bobbi Brown products and just how, like, you know, that was my way of saying thank you to Venus for that karmic reward for that day off. You know what I'm saying? To just be a girl, to just be in Venus energy, be with other women of all different ethnicities, all of our shades getting celebrated. It was just really, really nice, right? And yeah, everybody just got to feel special that day. All age groups. It was crazy. It was so cool, right? So these are the type of karmic rewards, and people could say like lucky, or you. It's just different miraculous things that could come into your life, right? Think Course of Miracles, right? If you don't know what Course of Miracles is, think that miracles happen in your life and them coming in a way through Venus. That's what we mean by karmic rewards, right? Now the Hierophant loves to have people around him or her, right? The shadow is this air of importance, arrogance, right? Being too much in your ego. That's the shadow with that Venus and Taurus. Okay, so yeah, let's move on here. And I want to talk about the Mars, the Venus and Mars, which can be a tricky placement, right? Okay, so I had another mercurial mistake, right? It's not Seven of Pentacles, it's Seven of Cups. Scorpio rules water, right? Okay, so Venus, Seven of Cups, desires, choices being made. I talked about the shadow aspect of that, which is like overindulgence, scandals, and unusual aspects of pleasure with Scorpio, because the positive side of a Scorpio and Venus is that they have a gift in the mystical. Okay, it is a mystical conjunction, Scorpio and Venus. So there is strength, passion, charisma, magnetism. These people are sexy. They or have a way of, sometimes somebody might not initially like present sexy. Maybe their rising or their sun isn't sexy, but their Venus, once you get into that Venus energy, ooh, right? Okay, so they have a gift in the arts, right? There's an incredible passion and sensuality that makes them very interesting people, right? So yeah, and they have a profound interest in areas of the unknown. So Tantra is something that a Venus and Scorpio is going to go towards, right? It's just it's going to be like a natural attraction for them, right? So with Seven of Cups, you could definitely think desires, right? If you want to put that Scorpio and Venus energy with it. Now let's go to Four of Wands. Now Wands, fire, Aries, okay? Venus. This is a mixed conjunction, okay? What they call an aggressive Pitta, okay? Pleasure. Ooh. It's okay. These people are smooth talkers, bring out the inner child to others, okay? They bring pleasure not only to themselves but also to others. They're also very sexy. So that Mars energy is just sexy in general. Passion. They can be overly intimate or prematurely intimate, okay? The shadow is aggression, selfish, lack of consideration, and putting their goals over others, okay? Now, Four of Wands is turning the house into a home. Love. I think of somebody having a foundation, right? Finishing an art project, maybe finishing your first record or something like that, okay? But I guess with the wand energy, you can put I think you could put more of that inner childness of Aries into it, where it's giving like the start of a foundation, your first new home, your first project out. And it doesn't have to be your first, but just Aries gives that first energy, right? So maybe your first baby, your first nursery. Yeah. So that's the Mars and Venus energy in the tarot. Let's go to Nine of Pentacles, which I believe is Venus and Virgo. Two of Cups is Venus in Cancer, okay? Five of Swords. Let me look at my notes real quick, y'all. Five of Swords is Venus in Aquarius. Yeah, let me talk about Venus and Aquarius for a little bit, for a second here. It's like Aquarius is an individual, okay? And of course, an air sign, swords. So, this Venus and Aquarius vibe, real talk. And I was thinking about it too with the Seven of Swords, with the Moon in Aquarius vibe. It's just like, it's individual, so it's not cohesive. So we're not getting together and talking over brunch and having a good time. No, it's a fight. It's about to be a what? You know what I'm saying? Five of Swords. So people aren't nurturing, right? People don't see your side of the story. Let me get more into this actually with this Five of Swords here and this Aquarius energy. And let me talk about the people who actually have Venus in Aquarius too. Yeah, this is your Capricorn, Venus, Mars. We talked about that. Gemini. Here we go. I'm definitely gonna bring that up with the Sagittarius. Where is it? Am I gonna have to go off the top of my head with this? Okay, I'm gonna have to go off the top of my head. But again, okay, these are individuals, very innovative, right? Doing their own thing, ahead of their time. But again, it just doesn't work well. This isn't Five of Swords isn't an energy that works well with other people. Okay, so this is just this. This is the shadow of Aquarius, right? Now, Two of Cups, Venus in Cancer. So here's the thing about Venus in Cancer. Cancer is the moon, right? So that's that queen energy, that royal energy. Venus is the princess, but she is the advisor to the queen. This is a mixed energy, okay? Because even though Venus is the advisor to the queen, she is more sophisticated than the queen. How is that? Why do you say that? The queen can be overindulgent. She can give into her emotions, okay, before she gives into logic, reasoning, harmony, balance. So this could tick Venus off, that the queen is overly emotional or overindulgent, because Venus is about refinement and in harmony and balance. Yes, I've said that plenty of times. So that's something to remember when there's like a shadow aspect of it, and maybe when the Two of Cups is in reverse. When the Two of Cups looks like this, yes, Venus and the Moon, they work together. So this is good. This is fine. When we go back to the Mars cards, just for people who have their Venus and Mars, I'm gonna backtrack real quick. I'm so sorry, guys, because it's so late and I'm tired, but I want to get this video out. And I don't have a problem redoing these videos either, but we are going to get these first drafts out, okay? With that Mars and Venus sign, Mars is the general to the sun, and Venus is the advisor to the moon. But there's an attraction there, right? Right? Because they both, like, kind of have the same job. So there's a rendezvous there with Mars and Venus. But because of their background, because of where they come from, the differences, it won't last. It's like a one night. I don't want to say a one night stand, but it's a flame. It's a nice flame, but it's not something that can stand the test of time. Even though Venus doesn't always like Cancer's ways, right, or the Moon's ways, the Queen's ways, they work together. So this Two of Cups is perfect. Okay, they're still together and they're still in harmony in their own way, right? So, yeah, you see Two of Cups, Venus, the Moon, they work together. Let's get together. Yeah. Okay. Now, Nine of Pentacles, Venus and Virgo. Oh, right here. Oh, yeah, Venus doesn't like Virgo. This is very challenging for natives, okay? And the reason is because it's an overemphasis on perfection, idealism, and analytical qualities, and it's very extreme in nature, while Venus is about harmony. Now, so there's this harmony versus perfection. We're talking about basically Nine of Pentacles in reverse, I guess. Perfection doesn't exist. You understand? But harmony Like if you think about piano or music, there's a lot of different harmonies, okay? And if like say the harmonies in jazz, it can clash, but the harmony can also sound really well in a classical piece and really mesh well together, okay? Either way, it's still a harmony. It's just a different type of harmony. While the perfectionism, like we wouldn't have jazz if there was perfectionism. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's not jazz. That's not. It's mm, what's another example, guys, besides jazz? Put it in the comment section below if you have another example. I can't pull one right now. But yeah, right? Perfectionism doesn't it doesn't give room for like mm, like I feel like jazz is really the best example of that. Like things not meshing well and it's still music. To the point where people will argue you down if you're like, yo, this guy is just playing whatever. They will argue you down about that. But I mean, there's a method to the madness with harmonies and stuff like that. But sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can hear these guys and the drugs they were on, y'all. Just don't say that around musicians. People get real. Okay, so back to Venus and Virgo. And you could go ahead if you disagree with me that sometimes these guys, like, I don't know, like the drugs hit so hard that the off notes is still music and they just go back into the scale and nobody cares. And it's art. It's art, you know? So Nine of Pentacles, I would say Nine of Pentacles in reverse. This is a Virgo that has gotten the harmony down, that has been able to accept the mistakes, right? And make it art. You know, just go back into the scale. Or just you make it jazz, you know, make it funky. Make it something new, something fresh, and make it yours, you know. So I really like that energy. Everybody likes Nine of Pentacles, you know, but yeah, just the shadow side is trying to make something perfect that doesn't even exist, right? Maybe overly complaining or just too much emphasis on things having to be this way. No, that's not life. That's not how that works, right? Sit back, relax, and enjoy some of the weeds. Oh, maybe that's a good example. How the weeds in the garden are actually really healing and they're actually not weeds. Yeah, I like that example too. So I think I've babbled on long enough about that. Let's get into some of the signs I missed, okay? Just for people who have Venus in other areas, go ahead and look at your birth chart. Talk to your astrologer. All right. Let's get into this. We went over Taurus and Libra. Gemini, harmony, balance, and pleasure in intelligence and communication. Sociability. I don't know this word, guys. I'm going to skip this because I don't know this word. But deep love. There is a gift. They have a gift in varietal. Oh, a variety of gifts. 12:12 on the clock. You guys want to see my notes? Okay, varietal gift, appreciation, communication, intellectually creative, endearing, delightful in disposition, sweet, warm, and kind people. Now, a Venus and Sagittarius. Okay, this is a mixed malefic because Sagittarius is the Jupiter guru. So there's peace, balance, beauty, harmony in a fiery standing for truth. All right. Now, this is what's crazy. Please pay attention. I think everybody needs to hear this because I actually got caught up in this trap. The thing about Venus and Sagittarius is that in Vedic astrology or maybe in Sanskrit, there's these things called ujas. I don't know if you can see it in my notes here. Ujas, which is nourishment. And this is challenging because when you fight for justice, when you fight for liberty and freedom, it depletes your ujas. I know this is true because y'all saw me in that video production of the Christians versus the New Agers. And I decided, you know what, I'm not going to stand on the sidelines. Let me actually, because they were coming for me in the comments on my page, and I was like, let me actually stand up for myself, right? So I stood up for myself as a, I guess you could call me a new ager. Okay, whatever, right? And I was like, like God is not bound to anything. Like God is God, you know what I'm saying? We cannot bind God to the Bible. God's before the Bible and beyond the Bible, right? Like there's nothing wrong with the Bible, but to bind God to it and just make God all about the Bible, I can't I can't sign up for that. That's me putting the Bible over God. I'm not about to put the Bible over God. Okay? And that's why I look into different spiritualities. That's why I do what I do. Like we're not going there. I'm not about to cage in God. That's crazy. This is my logic, right? The thing about that is I'm talking to, and I don't have anything against Christians, but the Bible is everything to Christians. You know, this what I'm saying is very blasphemous for them, right? Because oh God, how dare you? But at the same time, like I'm yes, I'm definitely gonna put God over the Bible. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, just having this discussion, it took a lot of uja out of me. I definitely, this happened to me last year, so you guys didn't even see me on the channel for a long time because just having a lot of Christians come after you and then discussing and just all the energy and emotion that comes with it because this is people's faith, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of life force out of you or uja out of you, okay? Chi, uja, chi, life force. And I think this Sagittarius and Venus explains that so well. This is actually a malefic, and that's why it's a malefic. Because even though you're standing up for justice and freedom or what you feel is right or your truth, it doesn't go well with peace, balance, and harmony, right? Because you're shaking the table up. And it does take life force out of you, and it's something we all should watch out for. So we really do have to choose our battles wisely, and we really do have to have a game plan on how we're going to put that life force and that uja and that chi back into us, because it really is depleting. But I wanted to take on that battle. I think I got a great reward out of it, but it was it did a lot to my nervous system, right? So let's move on. Venus and Mars. I talked to you guys about how Mars is the advisor. We talked about Scorpio and Venus. Let's get into this Leo, okay? So the Sun and Venus, like the Sun is the great ruler, but Venus doesn't work for the Sun. Mars works for the Sun, but Venus doesn't work for the Sun, y'all. Okay? So enemies, I don't know about that, but they're not, they ain't cool like that because Venus works for the Queen. Okay? So automatically this is an aggravated, aggressive, uncomfortable. Let me go ahead and show you guys. I don't know if you can read my writing or not, but an aggravated, aggressive. It also is burning life force. Okay? However, all is not lost if you have a Venus in Leo. Okay? You have class, you have elegance, you have self-confidence. Okay? Your arena is the social, romantic, and artistic arena. Okay? So you are a powerful artist. You have leadership and charisma. But the shadow side is that not only is this Venus sign very uncomfortable, but it can give you a strong ego, strong arrogance, and a lot of vanity. So watch out for that. Okay? A Venus in Capricorn is a mixed energy, okay? It's either beneficial spiritually or challenging materially. Or it's beneficial materially or challenging spiritually, okay? There's achievement, wealth, great success, relationship. I wrote wealth twice. Ooh. Enduring, but you have to endure adversity, okay? The challenges and the obstacles. So what does that mean? Right? You will achieve great success. If your Venus is in Capricorn, this is your gift. You will achieve great success if you endure the adversity, challenges, and obstacles presented to you. So keep going for sure if you have a Venus in Capricorn. Great success is on the horizon, right? I found the Aquarius in Venus because these are Saturn placements. Innovative, creative. Yeah. If you overcome adversity and tests and obstacles, things of that nature, as an Aquarius and Venus, or Venus and Aquarius, you will have great innovation and great creativity. That is your gift. Okay. Venus in Cancer. I talked about Venus in Cancer. That Two of Cups energy, right? How it gives you a powerful devotion. We didn't talk about that though. I didn't bring up the devotion energy. Okay. A gift is powerful dreams, imaginations, creativity. Okay. I talked about how the sign can be too indulgent. Okay, how they can prioritize emotions over logic. These are the type of people, if they have trouble in their family, it brings them a profound sadness. Okay, so these aren't people who, like, you might not even know you're talking to a Venus in Cancer, right? But if you see somebody and their family is going through a hard time or disputing or having troubles and it's bringing them a great sadness, that might be their Venus in Cancer sign, you know? So I just love going through these things because, give people a break. Everybody doesn't have the same Venus sign. Everybody doesn't love the same. So let's look into, yes, let's get to the good part. What do you do if you have a Venus in Leo, or you have a Venus in Gemini, or something that's maybe not as auspicious as a Venus in Libra, right? And you want to balance this energy more. You want to be more refined, sophisticated, classy, right? You want that gift of Venus. Then you can improve Venus by doing the mantra 108 times on the day of Friday. Wear purple, gray, or white, and only wear high quality materials, okay? You can do the Tantra mantra 108 times. It should only take about 20 minutes, all right? You can pray in front of a Venus yantra. Supposedly the Venus yantra is really, really beautiful. So I can't wait until we get to that part on the channel, all right? Beauty and positivity in one's life. Look at the beauty and positivity in your life, and prayer in front of that yantra will bring much beauty and positivity into your life. Okay, let's talk about the gemstones. So they recommend diamond, white. Is this tapin? I don't know, but white topaz, right? Now, a silver setting is too soft for a diamond, okay? And the thing about Venus is you can get really, really small diamonds. It's better. I'm going to repeat this. It is better to get a small diamond than no diamond at all. Quality over quantity, okay? Strong vibration. Make sure that it is sourced ethically. That's enough of that, okay? What do we got? Improving Venus karma. Okay, Lakshmi. Oh my gosh, Lakshmi. I mean, I really like the Lakshmi energy. And doesn't Lakshmi like do like a lot of different things too? Anyway, Lord Indra, his wife, probably saying her name wrong, Sashi Devi, Lord of the senses, okay? If you're not into that, you're not into that. All right, no problem. A life full of maturity, refinement, sophistication of the senses, which is Indra, Lord Indra, okay? Indulging, provoking, activating the senses in the most refined, sophisticated way. We talked about that earlier in the video with the glass of wine and making sure that it is refined, okay, as much as possible. Even if I'm out and I'm having a glass of orange juice, I want it in a nice glass, okay? Like, make me feel like I'm drinking a mimosa. I did this when I was pregnant. I want to feel like I'm drinking a mimosa, even though this is a glass of just plain orange juice. Put it in the champagne glass. Put it in the glass. Put it in the flute. Okay. Let me stop. Okay. Oh yeah. So quality over quantity. We want fabrics of the highest quality, but we also have to be careful because with money, you want to save. You want to show that you understand the value of money. You want to show that you know when and where and how to use your money, and to use your money in a sophisticated, refined way, and when to save. Again, okay? Also, devoting time to the arts. Go to a play, go to a dance recital, It doesn't matter if you are listening to music, going to a concert, or you are creating music. All of this is very, very, very auspicious for Venus, okay? Um, yeah. So get that relationship with the arts, get that relationship with money. Do not overvalue money. Do not undervalue money. Okay. Understand the value of things. Okay. Do not spend on frivolous and unnecessary things. All right. And oh, Kali Yuga, time of money. Okay, that's like a hint for somebody. Kali Yuga. Okay. And I have so many other things here. Honoring your partner, honoring your soulmate, exploring soul. I call it relationships. I'm not going to say soulmates. I'm going to say soul relationships. So it doesn't matter how many heartbreaks you go through, how much relationships have just really pained you. Opening your heart to new love and to new soul relationships is good for your Venus karma. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. And romanticizing your life. Okay? For those who have like say you're in Scorpio, right? And maybe you drink too much, or you, and I didn't even go into Venus in Pisces, which is an auspicious sign. But say you drink too much, or you too much lust, too much sex, or something like that. You may not be able to have 1 or 2 glasses of wine, right? These are the type of Venus placements where you just have to, sobriety is your new friend, fasting is your friend, abstinence is your, that's not the right way to use that. It's another word. It's not abstinence. I can't think of the word right now though. But abstinence is your friend. And this is where you see people who are like, okay, I can't even touch a glass or a bottle of beer. For me, I have to be sober, just sober. Because if they do, they'll go into that overindulgent energy. So Venus blesses those people who choose sobriety, right? And they balance out their Venus karma that way. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. This is a lot to go into. Just a few. Let me leave you guys with a few Ayurvedic practices too. Okay. Oh, and going on dates with yourself or your partner, no matter how busy your schedule is. All right. Highly, highly, highly auspicious. Being sexual or intimate with your soul mate partner, not just with anybody. Quality over quantity. Your quality partner. Very auspicious for your Venus sign. Giving yourself massages with oil. If you guys know about ghee, the oil of ghee, that and taking that internally. Okay, if you know, you know. All right, if you know that secret, that's a yogi secret. Okay, so yeah, a lot of different secrets here to help get you more refined, sophisticated, and in alignment with your Venus energy. I hope they gave you the life force rejuvenation and paradigm shift that you needed for your journey. I know this wasn't a super refined video, but yeah, you guys know I'll remake it, and yeah, it was an honor to do this for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.